Hello, this is Dr. Johnson-Steigelman. I want to tell you today about how to set up for the wave synthesis lab. So right now I am in my course for Physics of Sound, and I've gone to course content into Module 4, which is on the production of sound. And in here there is a folder for the wave synthesis lab. So if you go ahead and click on that, it'll take you to the folder. And in this folder, there are several different documents. The first is the wave synthesis workbook. That's where we're actually going to do the lab. This is a virtual lab where you're going to add things, change things around in this Excel workbook. You also have your lab template. You're going to download this lab template and put your information into it. And there's also a waveform reference down here that will be useful later on in the lab. And there's also the place where you actually submit your lab. So what I'm going to do first is go in here and download this workbook. So I'm going to save it to my computer. And down at the bottom, there should be a place where it shows you the file that you just downloaded, or you might have to go to the folder where it's located at. And right now, here is my spreadsheet. Now, I am using a high resolution screen, so you might not be able to see everything here at once, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to dock it to the side of my screen. Okay, and here's my Blackboard folder, and I'm also going to download the lab template. And I'm going to open that guy up too. Okay, because I have the luxury of this wide screen, I'm going to put it to both sides. And that's not exactly what I wanted it to do. I can also do this on a Windows computer by holding down my Windows key and hitting the right arrow on my keyboard. So the idea now is I'm going to take information from this spreadsheet and I'm going to put it right into my lab. First of all, though, I'm going to change my title to the actual title of the lab. And of course, I'm going to fill everything else out here. Now, once you get the data in here, then you're going to go back and fill out your abstract, your name, your partner's name, your experimental method, experimental setup, and so on, and all those things that you do during a normal lab. Okay, now this lab is a little different than others because it is a simulation lab. We're going to do things over here in Excel, and then we're going to take those changes and put them over here. So on each of these pages, and let me make this full screen for just a moment, a couple of things to notice. One is you will need to scroll perhaps, depending on the resolution of your screen, to see things that are down here. Up at the top, on each cell, there is, or each worksheet, there is a set of instructions. There's a graph, and then there's some places where you can change things. Off to the side, there is a set of numbers. Notice at the top here, it says the cells below are used to plot this graph. Please do not change anything over here. You will change things on this side, and they will automatically happen over here. So notice here, we have several different things that we can do. The green cells are the ones that you can change. The blue cells change automatically. So right here for my base note, I'm going to change this to, say, 220 Hertz. Notice that the graph changes, and over here, some of the numbers changed. Now let me undo and redo this. Here's the undo. Here's the redo. Up at the top of my screen. Now, your version of Windows, or excuse me, your version of Excel might not have those there, but if you do Control Z and Control Y, Control Z undoes what you did, Control Y redoes what you did. And that can be handy to see the changes that happen from one step to the next. Now, like I said, only change the things down here. Don't change them over on this side. If you change them over here, you will potentially screw up the worksheet. If you do, it's not a big deal. Just download a new copy and start over. Okay, one last thing I want to show you here. Notice when I changed this to 220, things here changed. Let me change it back to 440. And notice those cells down there changed as well. So several things happen when you do this. Now, there's my lab folder. I want to show you how to get information from here over into here. So first of all, you're going to click on the object, and let me make this half screen. I'm going to click on the graph. I'm going to use Control-C to copy it. But then over here, I'm going to paste a bunch of these into my experimental data. Now, when I do this, I don't want to do Control-V. I want to hit my right mouse key or the right side of my keypad, and I'm going to paste it as a picture. The reason I want to paste it as a picture is because back here, if I change something in the workbook, there is a good chance that it will update over here if I just do a regular copy and paste. Now, that doesn't always happen immediately, but sometimes when you save this book, it updates over here. And what you don't want to have happen on some of these later sheets, you do a bunch of changes and you don't want them all to change back over on this side. Okay, so that's the basic mechanics of what's going on with this. I'll have a few more videos to show you other steps within the lab. You can watch those in order, but remember, change your graph by changing the numbers in the green. Answer any questions that are up here. Okay, good luck.